Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about internet flexing people. Yeah, I thought that would turn out better. I'm sorry, I'll try again. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about those internet flexing people. Okay, I thought it would kind of shower out. I don't know if I'm going to keep that as an intro. Okay, guys, so today I want to talk about internet flexers. The reason this came up is because since I've been getting more into the financial space of YouTube and the internet in general, I came across a lot of people that just talk about how much money they have. They talk about their cars and stuff like that. And the thing is that I have a big problem with the way they present what they're talking about. Not so much with what they have, because believe it or not, if you're creating good content on YouTube and you're making money off it, then you probably earned it. I mean, if nothing else, you learned how to make good content, you learned how to advertise, and you learned how to edit videos, presumably on your own. That's not really where I have the problem. I have the problem because I have a son, and a couple years ago, he got really into clothes. Now, keep in mind that he, like, 9 years old, 10 years old, so he wasn't very old to be getting that into clothes, but it was his interest. And I noticed that he was talking a lot about YouTube, and one of the things he was talking about is hype beasts, which is I guess somebody who just gets nice clothes and makes videos about them on YouTube. And he showed me some of the videos, and don't get me wrong, like, some of the clothes were like nice. I might be a mid-30s-year-old middle-aged man, but you know, I like the sneakers and stuff like that. I definitely grew up in the time where, you know, sneakers were a big thing. Like, I would like to think in the late 80s, early 90s are when sneakers kind of developed what they are now. You know, that's when Jordans came out, Air Force One, stuff like that. So the concept's not foreign to me. Now, what is foreign to me is that kids would watch for, you know, 20-minute videos about somebody talking about a pair of shoes. And I guess I kind of assumed that little girls would do this, but I didn't think it would be a boys thing. But yeah, boys and girls alike were getting really into this. So I remember him wanting to, like, do this. Like, he wanted to be one of these guys. And we talked about it, like, okay, well, what do you need to be one of these guys? So he was telling me about the room that one of the guys has, because apparently he makes so much money doing this that he has, like, a really nice room with all this, like, all these different things around, and, like, little, like, cubbies to hold his shoes with closing doors and stuff to keep them, like, clean and stuff. So just out of curiosity, I looked up how much one of those bins cost. They were like $25 a bin, and this guy had like a whole wall of them. So, you know, that was my first experience with people who kind of ironically make money off YouTube by spending money on YouTube, and it's one of the funniest things that I've ever heard. But okay, that's fine. Like, people enjoy the content, so that's okay. But later on, now that I'm doing more financial stuff on YouTube, and I've been looking up a lot more financial stuff, I've been seeing a lot more commercials. And one of the commercials is a guy just walking past like 3 cars he owns while talking about he's trying to sell a seminar or a class on how to be a good salesperson and a good marketing person. But he's walking past these like really nice cars. Like, I remember a Range Rover being in the shot, but there was like 4 cars in a row. He walked past 3 of them talking about them, and then there was a Range Rover next, but he never actually got to the Range Rover, which sucks because I like Range Rovers, so I kind of wanted him to talk about that a little bit. And it was all about everything he has. Now, I'm not against you having a lot of stuff, you know, whatever you want to do with your money. I want to emphasize that, number one, anybody can be wealthy on the internet. It takes very little work to rent 4 cars for a commercial, or to max out your credit cards in order to make it look like you have a lot. I couldn't even tell you how many times growing up I knew my friends who always seemed to get more than I did for Christmas and stuff like that. But then, like, they would have to move because they couldn't afford where they're living anymore, like, a month later. And not that I would ever assume to know somebody's financial situation, but my one thought when this would happen, or see this happen, is maybe you shouldn't have gotten an Xbox and a PlayStation on the same holiday. You know, maybe it kind of stretched your family a little thin. And it's not the kid's fault, obviously. It's the parents' financial choices, if that played a role at all, which I don't know it did. But when you watch somebody on YouTube, when you watch somebody on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, I'm not on the gram, I don't do that. But I have seen pictures of it and stuff, and it seems like everybody is like completely rich on Instagram, you know, all these influencers. And if any kids are watching this, please keep in mind that that's not real life. That's what they're doing for the cool shot. and you really have no idea whether or not they're actually doing that or not. They could be doing just about anything. Okay, so the second part of this video, I kind of want to talk about if you are one of those people. Not saying there's anything wrong with what you're doing, and honestly, I think you're making a ton of money, then great. But what I want to caution is people who aren't making a lot of money, who are stretching themselves thin financially in order to make it look like they do, as sort of an investment. I'm all for you investing in yourself, and I'm for people taking risks on certain businesses and stuff like that. But I do think it's a terrible idea if you're taking a lot of financial risk to try to become popular on social media for people who you don't know, who, to be honest, you probably shouldn't care about what they really think of you. The only way I can really think of it being a good idea is if you have some sort of idea or plan to become somebody really big and you plan on making your money back. So it's like a business investment for you. Like your business plan is to become big on social media so you can then monetize it somehow, whether by doing commercials or I don't know, coming out with your own brand or your own merch or something like that. If you go that route, then I guess it could be seen as an investment yourself. It's just that, I don't know, to me, on the surface, granted, not knowing a lot about the market, it seems incredibly risky. It seems almost as though you're gambling with your money. Because to me, the important distinction between gambling and investing is the probability of success. And I don't know how many people want to be famous or try to be famous per day on social media in order to get like that big money, but I bet you it's significantly less than the amount of people that actually succeed. To me, it's kind of like when you're a kid and you want to grow up and play football. It's not that you can't be a professional athlete, it's that you know just how rare it is that somebody makes it to that level. So don't bankrupt yourself trying to act like you're not bankrupting yourself. I know I put up my net worth on here, and that's because that's the goal. That's kind of what I'm trying to achieve here. That's the whole point of these videos, is to try to vlog my success or demise, hopefully success. And I also doing it because I wanted to kind of show people it wasn't really that hard if you stay on top of it, and that's what I'm hoping to prove here. So with that said, since I talk about my net worth a lot, I don't want to give the wrong impression that I'm trying to flex on anybody. The car I drive is a 2009 Jeep that I love to death, and it's completely paid off, and I'm so proud of that Jeep because it keeps running. My house was built in 1990, which isn't really old, but it's also not like brand new construction, and I bought that on military salary, so it's nice, don't get me wrong, I love my house, but it's definitely not like anything like in the hills or in the Beverly Hills or anything like that. My car insurance, I still shop around every year to try to get a better rate for that. I use T-Mobile for my cell phone plan because the cheapest for what I get for the family plan. I've been working on my net worth, but I'm also a very like modest guy. Like if you notice, like my shirts I wear, like they're just, I just wear t-shirts every day because I'm deployed right now. I don't need any fancy coats or anything like that. And I was concerned that people would think that I was trying to flex or make it seem like I'm rich, and I'm not. I am probably about where I should be for my age bracket for saving for retirement. Now, if all goes well over the next year and a half, then I'll be worth $500,000, and that's a pretty good amount of money. That's more money than some people have, but I would venture to say that's far from flexing. If I ever hit 7 digits, then maybe that'll be flexing. But until then, no, I'm just trying to keep you updated on what I'm doing. So, moral of this entire video: be careful what you watch online, because obviously anybody who's stuck to this point in this video knows how much people make up when they use the internet and post stuff on social media. And if any kids are watching this, please don't idolize people just because it appears that they are rich, if the reason you idolize them is that they're rich. Now, if you idolize them because they're entertaining or whatever, then that's totally fine. But if your sole reason is because they're rich, then it's probably not the best way to do it. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. I have to still clean up a bunch of 20s. If you like my video, give me a like, subscribe, whatever. Thank you for stopping by, and keep saving.